Hey Hanz Fam. I know it's been quite some time since I've connected with you guys, and for this first video back on my YouTube channel, I kind of felt that just doing a face chart the way that I have done them before, where it's just a time lapse and music, wasn't quite fitting. I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of the past year of my life. I know that COVID and the pandemic, of course, has affected everyone differently. I think most of us, it's been negatively. The world has changed so drastically since then, and I think it kind of opened everyone's eyes to a lot. And within the last actually week or so, I really have done a lot of self-reflecting, and I kind of wanted to just open myself up to you guys and kind of explain how it's been for me. I think for the most part, I've always been, or at least tried to be, pretty honest and upfront about my battles with mental health, my depression, and my anxiety. Sometimes when you're dealing with depression, you don't see how bad it is until it kind of comes to a head. And that's really what happened to me. I loved creating art for you guys. Creating art for me. I was so passionate, and before I started YouTube or started connecting with brands, I had such a low view of myself. I was so nervous all the time. I was so anxious. I was so scared, and I really hated myself. And I felt that I just wasn't worthy of anything. But when I started sharing my art and people actually gave a fuck, I started to give a fuck too. And I started to travel with brands, and I felt so independent, and it gave me such a strong, pride within myself, and I felt so just happy because I was like, wow, I am finally the person I'm meant to be. Of course, my mental health and my struggles and my depression were always there, and I have been taking medication for my depression and my anxiety for years now, but just working and feeling that passion and drive really gave me so much and helped me so deeply. And so when COVID hit, and just being at home and not really traveling with brands and not really doing a whole lot, I think I just got so stuck in my head that I wasn't worthy anymore. And I started to slowly lose this drive for art, this drive for sharing myself with the world. Multiple things happened to also kind of start this. I dealt with some loss in my life, a lot of really horrible things over social media that made me just want to kind of put myself into a shell, and that was tough to deal with. So I think it started slowly. It was kind of a slow build where I started to slowly pull myself back, and before I knew it, I was starting to feel so more and more depressed and more unworthy that I was coping with food. I'm really sad. I want to just eat things that are unhealthy for me because those make me feel like I'm a little okay again for just that moment. That food helped me. And then it started to also be alcohol. I don't want to deal with my thoughts. To be completely upfront with you guys, my very suicidal thoughts, because I just felt that I was such a burden and unworthy. So it was just like, well, let me just drink and eat, because for those little moments, I kind of feel better. I didn't really. They weren't really helping me. So then I started to gain weight and have an even worse view of myself, which again just fueled kind of everything. It's kind of such a vicious cycle, right? You know you're doing things that are unhealthy for you, but you feel just so trapped in this cycle that you don't know how to break it. So I felt, I think, very trapped, but I was so used to it and so used to those horrible feelings that I kind of just was like, well, this is life now, this is normal. And again, my passion for art, my passion for really everything just was gone. I was so apathetic to the world. I was so checked out of my life, my friendships, my marriage, everything. And not until very recently, I really had to have a big talk with myself, and I'm still processing those feelings now, about how bad it really had gotten. I kind of, now looking back on it, feel that I was in a hole, and every time I started to crawl out of it and I got a grip on the earth and I was ready to get out, something else happened in my life to just pull me down. And instead of dealing with that, I just tried to cope in other unhealthy ways. It's still, of course, a process, and I want to take it day by day, but it's time for me to feel like me again. It's time for me to get back to what made me so happy, and to really just be honest with myself about my depression, about my unhealthy habits, and face them head on. And I wanted to just share this with you guys because I think I owe that to you, because you've supported me for so long, and I can't appreciate you all enough. But there is hope if you're going through something similar. Know that you're never as alone as it may seem, and I hope that you can find maybe some strength from this video, or just some solace in the fact that you're not alone. But I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys and tell you that I'm ready to start working towards getting back to feeling like me. And I'm already feeling better and taking those steps. I just really appreciate you guys and appreciate the support. And I hope you guys are all staying strong during this. And thank you so much for listening. And I just love the fuck out of you all. And miss you. And hope to see more of you soon. And Moo Moo hopes so too. Love the fuck out of you guys.